Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Relating to a recently developed fashion or style. Their offices are in a modern skyscraper. Used of a living language, being the current stage in its development. Ahead of the times. A typeface, based on an 18th-century design by Giambattista Bodoni, distinguished by regular shape and hairline serifs and heavy downstrokes. A contemporary person. Belonging to the modern era, since the Middle Ages. Modern art. Characteristic of present-day art and music and literature and architecture. Relating to a recently developed fashion or style. Their offices are in a modern skyscraper. A British teenager or young adult in the 1960s, noted for their clothes consciousness and opposition to the rockers. Relating to a recently developed fashion or style. Tables in modernistic designs. Original and of a kind not seen before. Of crops, harvested at an early stage of development, before complete maturity. New potatoes. Used of a living language, being the current stage in its development. Lacking training or experience. The new men were eager to fight. Having no previous example or precedent or parallel. Very recently. They are newly married. In use after medieval times. Not of long duration. Having just, or relatively recently, come into being or been made or acquired or discovered. A new law. Often followed by, to, unfamiliar. New experiences. Other than the former ones, different. They now have a new leaders. Unaffected by use or exposure. It looks like new. Far along in time. A man of advanced age. Ahead in development, complex or intricate. Advanced technology. Ahead of the times. The advanced teaching methods. Situated ahead or going before. At that time the most advanced outpost was still east of the Rockies. At a higher level in training or knowledge or skill. An advanced degree. Comparatively late in a course of development. The illness had reached an advanced stage. Farther along in physical or mental development. The child's skeletal age was classified as advanced. Of societies, highly developed especially in technology or industry. Advanced societies. Ahead of the times. A forward-looking corporation. Being or producing something like nothing done or experienced or created before. Stylistically innovative works. Ahead of the times. Is British industry innovative enough? Italian printer who designed the Bodoni font, 1740 to 1813. A typeface, based on an 18th-century design by Giambattista Bodoni, distinguished by regular shape and hairline serifs and heavy downstrokes. A typeface, based on an 18th-century design by Giambattista Bodoni, distinguished by regular shape and hairline serifs and heavy downstrokes. A typeface, based on an 18th-century design by Giambattista Bodoni, distinguished by regular shape and hairline serifs and heavy downstrokes. Popular and considered appealing or fashionable at the time. Being or in accordance with current social fashions. Fashionable clothing. Having elegance or taste or refinement in manners or dress. Being or in accordance with current social fashions. Having elegance or taste or refinement in manners or dress. A little less posh but every bit as stylish as Lord Peter Wimsey. In the recent past. Lately the rules have been enforced. At or toward an end or late period or stage of development. The late phase of feudalism. To an advanced time. Talked late into the evening. Later than usual or than expected. The train arrived late. After the expected or usual time, delayed. A belated birthday card. Used especially of persons of the immediate past. Our late president is still very active. Of the immediate past or just previous to the present time. A late development. Being or occurring at an advanced period of time or after a usual or expected time. Late evening. Having died recently. Her late husband. Of a later stage in the development of a language or literature, used especially of dead languages. Favoring or promoting reform, often by government action. A person who favors a political philosophy of progress and reform and the protection of civil liberties. A tense of verbs used in describing action that is ongoing. Advancing in severity. Progressive paralysis. Favoring or promoting progress. Progressive schools. Gradually advancing in extent. Of a card game or a dance, involving a series of sections for which the participants successively change place or relative position. Progressive euchre. Of taxes, adjusted so that the rate increases as the amount of income increases. Of or relating to British universities founded in the late 19th century or the 20th century. Extremely modern. Dadaism and ultramodern art. Characteristic of the present. The role of computers in modern-day medicine. Of or relating to a popularization of Art Deco that used bright colors and rectangular shapes. Used as a combining form, recent or new. Neo is a combining form in words like neocolonialism. A person of nearly the same age as another. Occurring in the same period of time. The composer Salieri was contemporary with Mozart. Belonging to the present time. Contemporary leaders. Characteristic of the present. Contemporary trends in design. Of or relating to British universities founded in the late 19th century or the 20th century. Not classical. A steady flow of a fluid, usually from natural causes. The raft floated downstream on the current. A flow of electricity through a conductor. The current was measured in amperes. Dominant course, suggestive of running water, of successive events or ideas. The current of history. Occurring in or belonging to the present time. Current events. Any font whose different characters have different widths. A human being. The immaterial part of a person, the actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. A human being. The humanistic study of language and literature. The scientific study of language.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.